Big news last week, Eddie Alvarez, the hottest free agent in mixed martial arts, is now with one championship. And guess what? For his first interview, he's here in studio. Eddie A, the Underground King. Let me stand up. Royalty in the house. Wow, look at this guy. Oh, wow, what an honor this is. Kensington, Philadelphia in the house. Wow, look at this guy. I feel the richness just oozing out of your body. Look at you, the hottest free agent in the game. Eddie Alvarez, welcome, my man.
It's good to be here.
Yes. Now come a little closer to the microphone over there. If you just want to scoot your chair. Yeah.
There's something in my way here. All right.
Yeah, but you're good.
Good
wow.
to go.
How are you?
Excellent.
What do we got? What is this hat that you're wearing?
Dig Me.
What's that?
I'm always repping Dig Me. So they're a clothing brand.
Okay.
My buddy Ray owns it. I'm always supporting these guys. I got their jackets, their hats.
You're
Tip your
good.
cap. Give respect.
I don't know if this is rude, but can you bump? I want to see your eyes. And there's a bit of a. There you go.
Yep.
Okay.
Good
yeah.
to go.
Wow, you're looking good, man. Jeez, you got a tan and everything. You're looking fresh. You got that shirt. That's a nice shirt. Is that a new one?
Yeah, I should have brought one for you.
Yeah, would have been nice. Who did that?
I'll send it. We get them done before every fight. Different colors, like we get them done before every fight. It's like a neighborhood thing.
Okay.
Only Philly people have these shirts. So.
Okay. Wow.
You'll be the one and only.
Don't forget, I went to Kensington myself.
In New York.
I'll never forget it.
You didn't pick his shirt up when you were there.
No, I did not. Wow. Well, I really appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you coming in. Congratulations.
I'm super happy to be here.
Congratulations. What a handshake you have. We have a lot to discuss.
Yeah.
We have a ton to discuss. I actually want to start back in July before all of this. You fight Dustin Poirier.
Mm-hmm.
Fight doesn't go your way.
Mm-hmm.
Your coach is lambasted, Mark Henry, the great Mark Henry. Everyone's ripping on him for giving you bad advice.
Yeah. You've
not really talked since then. Is Mark Henry to blame for that loss?
No, come on. Look, we're a team. So when things go right, we blame each other. When things go wrong, we blame each other. So we're a team. I'm one part of the puzzle inside that cage. There's me, there's Ricardo, Mark, and Ray Robinson. We're all in there together. So a mistake was made. It's fist fighting. There's a very small margin for error, especially when you're fighting a guy like Dustin or anybody in the top 5. Top 10 or whatever. Very small margin for error. We made a mistake. We paid for it, and I've been on the other end of them, so it is what it is.
So what's interesting about that fight was that you gambled on yourself, right? It was much talked about that you were going to be a free agent, that there were some talks beforehand, but you're like, nah, I want this fight to play out, then I'll test the market. Yeah. How much did the loss hurt? We're not in the one talks yet, right? We're just Saturday night after the loss. You're all bloodied up. You're in Calgary, and you're like, man, I gambled and I lost my last fight. How much did it sting?
It hurt me.
Yeah, well, just knowing that, okay, this is not just a loss. This is the last fight on my contract, so maybe I've now, gone down in terms of leverage, right?
Yeah. So that was definitely a thought of mine, but I think how you fight overall also has to do with leverage, and leverage always goes to the man who's willing to walk. And there hasn't been one single contract during my career where I wasn't willing to walk. Like if I felt like I wasn't going to get paid what I thought I was worth. So UFC, Bellator, no matter who the promotion is, if you're a fighter and you know your value, if you're willing to walk, you'll always hold the cards as a free agent. You know what I mean? So it stung. I held a lot on that win. I was sure I was going to win the fight. I went into the fight gambling on myself and I lost. Monetarily, did it hurt me? No, not at all.
And we will get to that.
Yeah.
But then, so then now you go back home, and you're about to embark on being a free agent. What's the process? Are people coming at you? Is the UFC coming at you, or was it a slow process? How does that all start?
So no promotions are allowed to speak to you about contractual. Like the minute the week of, you're in a exclusive negotiation period with the UFC.
Okay.
So immediately when you go to free agency, you're not allowed to speak to anyone about numbers or anything like that. People can say they'll express interest, Bellator, ONE FC, all these other promotions are allowed to say, we are interested, but we're waiting for you to get out of your exclusive negotiation period before we can discuss any details or any numbers or anything like that.
And how much is that? How long is that?
30, 60 days. I'm not 100% sure,
Okay.
but I know that the UFC, they were pretty like we sat down with them and we went to them face to face. We flew out to Vegas to sit down with them. We didn't want to elongate the process. We wanted to make a decision and make it as quick as possible for UFC and for myself. So we did that.
So how did that go? That face-to-face meeting, and who's in the meeting?
In the meeting was me, Lloyd, my agent, Lloyd Pearson, and JJ, our attorney,
Mm-hmm.
our attorney as well, Jen Goldstein.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the UFC's part, it was Dana, Sean Shelby, and their attorney as well. It's not coming to my
Hunter
head.
Campbell.
Hunter
Yes.
Campbell. Yep.
General counsel.
So the meeting was like surprisingly like real lighthearted. There was no, everybody was very agreeable. I didn't know what to expect because you're negotiating. I'm saying what I feel I'm worth. Whether you guys think it or not, it's up to you. But there's definitely an argument to be had there. But everything was it was a normal meeting. Dana was surprisingly cool as hell. They didn't, he was fine as well. Everybody was cool. I didn't. There was no things. We were laughing a lot, talking, joking. It was fine.
Did they actually make you an offer that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
That day. I felt I was worth it. They knew what I wanted going in. We spoke about it a number of times, and they came close.
Oh, really?
I can't. UFC made a really good offer.
Okay.
I was under the notion that I feel like all fighters are underpaid. Period.
Yep.
Like all fighters in general for the value that we bring and how much the promotions make overall, not just the UFC, but all promotions, what they make versus what is paid out. I feel like all fighters are underpaid. So now we have to compare, now as a free agent, we have to compare our contracts to the market. But I was already under the notion that the market is really low. Like the comparables are already real low. So I wasn't necessarily going to compare my contract to my colleagues, like, to Frankie's or Marlon's or even guys who are in the same sort of ranking that I am. I wasn't going to do that because I already think everybody's not getting paid enough. So I had a number, and UFC almost met it, almost not totally, but we were almost there. And I said, okay, they made a really good offer. I said, just give me a day. I just want a little bit of time to think, and I'll go home and think about it, and then I'll call Lloyd up, call my management, and figure out what, or call my agent and figure out what I want to do. So after a day, I could not sign the deal. I just couldn't.
Why?
Because I think the value of free agency today is so incredible. To give that up to a fighter, for any fighter to give that up, to give up free agency, is foolish. I think there's so much value in it today that if you're an agent out there and you're not and you're sort of re-signing your fighters and not allowing them to test free agency, it's a little bit foolish. And I'm a fighter who's been fighting 15 years, who not just understands the fight game, but I understand the economics of the fight game, the business part of it. Free agency is so powerful today. It's not always been powerful. Today it is really powerful. If you really want to make money in this sport, you really want to test your value and see how much you're worth, you become a free agent. I would say there is no other option.
Wow. So you felt that you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't at least test the market. You like the deal, you're okay with the deal, but I got to see what else is out there.
Huge. I mean, I'd be curious for the next 4 years. I'd be ripping the little bit of hair that I have left out of my head, thinking about, was there a deal out there? Was there a monster deal that I didn't know about? What is this guy willing to offer? What is that guy willing? I would have not been able to sleep at night re-signing a deal and not knowing what my full potential was. So I called my agent and I asked, can we respectfully decline the initial offer, and asked to go out and play the field, and that's a weird conversation to have, because it's like going to a girlfriend and saying, hey, can I date all these other girls and see if I still like you, weird. But UFC, Dana was right away. Yeah,
they took it well.
No problem.
Wow.
No problem. And I think a part of it had to do with, I respect Dana. Dana respects me. There's a lot of mutual respect there. I'm super honest with Dana when we talk, and he is with me as well. So I think we have a good relationship, and he said, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Okay, so then you go out. What do you see? What do you start to hear?
So we go out, and if everyone's interested. Okay. Everyone. From Russia to Poland to bare knuckle fighting to to everyone. Everyone's interested. Everyone wants to sit down and talk, and then ONE FC comes about. Even the PFL and everybody who is a promotion, who is in the fight game, small or little, wanted to sit down and at least have a conversation and talk.
Did you have a conversation with all these people?
The majority of them. I said to Lloyd, my agent, if we're gonna do this, we want every option in the book, and then we can wean them out, and that's what we did.
Is that overwhelming, or is that a fun process?
Super exciting.
Oh, you like it?
So fun.
Yeah.
So fun that I implore any fighter. I would push any fighter today. Do it.
Do it.
Do it out of the excitement. Forget.
You're the belle of the ball. Everyone's coming to you with their pitch.
Yeah, we're fighters. We're risk takers. You know, in general, which is odd. We're risk takers by nature.
Yeah.
But no fighter wants to become a free agent because they're worried about the risk involved.
That's true.
If we're willing to walk out of a tunnel, go into a cage, fight another man, risk embarrassment in front of millions of people, what are you so worried about becoming a free agent?
Right.
I especially myself, I'm a risk taker by nature. I take risk. That's what I do. I do it in a cage. Sometimes they're not good for me. Sometimes they work out. But the excitement in doing it is, I don't want to say overwhelming, but it's a fun process.
So how does it start with ONE? You reach out to them, or they reach out to you?
I believe they were already saying they were interested, along with a bunch of other people. But ONE was one of the first companies that kind of reached out, and they were ready to get going pretty quickly, and they wanted to put an offer in pretty quickly.
Wow.
So
and was it a good offer?
It was through the roof.
Better than the UFC's?
Crushed everyone, everything,
wow.
Everybody. There wasn't anything they lapped everyone.
Really?
Yeah.
So did it become clear very early on, ONE is the leader here? No one came close to them? They're the one?
Yeah. Well,
pardon the pun.
The thing with the UFC is there's a lot of there's intrinsic value to the UFC. You can't just go apples to apples with the UFC. You can't say, oh, I'm gonna make $100,000 with the UFC. So if someone offers me 150 here, then I'm gonna take the 150, because the stage of the UFC is different. You got to add some other things. But when you look at a player like ONE, when you go to Asia, they're the most dominant force, in that aspect of the world. And then you have the UFC, who's dominant here in America. So these are two of the same exact players, two giant, massive media stages, that the intrinsic value isn't so much there that you thought it would be. So I'm super excited. That ONE made me a partner in their promotion. They didn't. It was more of a partnership than it was, hey, you're gonna come on as a fighter, and here's your money to fight, and that's it. They made me a true partner in the promotion.
What do you mean by that? Like legit? Like you get you're like an actual business partner?
It's a package deal.
Okay.
Like, it's not, hey, fighters today are, what do I get to win, what do I get to show, which I think is complete. I haven't did a win and show contract in 10 years, and I never will. But it's a package. It's a package. It's nothing like a normal MMA contract. They made me a true partner in the promotion.
Well, can you tell us the terms of this package? Like, you don't have to tell us the monetary terms, but like, what are the items that we're talking about in this package? And if you want to tell us the monetary terms, go ahead.
Look, without getting into detail,
Okay.
the package in general, it's going to be an 8-figure deal.
Whoa.
Yeah, 8-figure fight deal.
How many years?
Guaranteed 8-figure fight deal.
In total?
In total.
How many years?
Not as many as you think.
Really?
But they made me a true partner, which what I'm happy about. They fully committed to me, and we are fully committing back. That's where we're at with ONE FC.
Is this deal so good that you're almost surprised how good it is? Or do you feel like, no, this is the deal that I've earned, I deserve?
This is the deal. When I left the table at UFC,
yeah,
and I said I want to go out to explore, this is the deal I had in my mind.
Wow.
So this is the deal that I felt was out there for almost every guy in the top 5 of the UFC who has a massive name. There's a lot of promotions with a lot of money.
Yeah.
And there isn't a lot of free agents. There's barely any.
Right.
So it's supply and demand. If there's massive promotions with massive capital rate, like there's promotions that have capital raises every couple months, another capital raising. UFC does it, ONE FC does it, Bellator does it. They all do it. And to be a free agent in a market like that, it's exciting. It's super exciting. And ONE stepped up big time. They basically put me, my family first, not just short term, because the short term is awesome, but long term.
How much did you know about ONE before all of this? Like, do you watch their fights? Have you been a fan of theirs?
Yeah, I actually I like watching their Muay Thai stuff they put on, because they have some of the best Muay Thai fights in all of the sport. But the promotion in general, it's on an app. It's on an app, on the ONE FC app, and it's super cool. Pops right up as soon as you pop on the app. It pops right up.
You don't have to sign up or anything.
Live events, everything is free.
Yeah.
So because you don't have to pay for it, it's all free. I'll go to fight, and I think it was 25 million people tuned into the last ONE FC.
Wow.
And this is 25 new fans
that
I'll have. Not, I fight in America. I have a lot of fans in America. I love fighting for the fans here. But this is 25 million new fans that I'll have in Asia, which is also exciting.
So once you got that incredible deal from ONE, did you then go back to the UFC and see if they would match it?
No. When I spoke to Dana originally, when I spoke to Dana and I said to him, look, to be fair, I'm not going out to go find someone else and then come back to you and then barter, and that's not what I wanted to do. I wasn't trying to play the UFC or play a game with anybody. I said I want to go out, and if we find a person who is willing to put my family, me first, a long term, make us a partner, then I'm probably going to end up with them. And he respected that. He said I understand, no problem. And it was a clean cut. There was no like hiccups with me, Dana. No story that you want to hear. I know you want to. You want to hear? No,
what are you talking about?
you want to hear some goods?
No.
And I wish I had something to tell you.
My hands
but
are clean.
There isn't. Me and Dana, everything went really well.
Okay. Did Bellator, because they were very quick to keep saying like, oh, we're not interested, which I found to be an interesting, move on their part, because why wouldn't they be interested, especially with the Chandler fight there? Were there any serious talks with Bellator?
So they called most frequent, I think.
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Did I just lower my level here? Sorry, guys.
You see it? Oh, now you just went even lower. See, that's what happens when you tell me that I'm looking for the smoke,
So
the gods bring you down.
Bellator, I think, called the most frequent about being interested, but when it came down to putting together a deal on a contract or something like that, I think they said, hey, let's sit down and come on out, fly out. But before you fly out, like, what are you sort of thinking in your head? And when we gave them our number, what we were thinking,
that was it.
They called back the next day and were like, I don't think we're going to make an offer.
Would that have been weird to go back to Bellator after everything that happened? Like I feel like you wouldn't have been.
It was not my.
Yeah.
It was not my first pick.
Right.
It definitely wasn't.
It's interesting, and I kind of got into it, and I try not to get into it with the fans on Twitter, but I sort of did because I like felt like they weren't really seeing the situation for what it was. I got a lot of people when we were reporting this being like, "Oh, great job, Eddie! Like you just took the easy way out. Oh, you just blew it. Great job going and fighting in obscurity." And I was like, "No, you morons! Like Eddie Alvarez has won every belt, has fought for every promotion. Eddie Alvarez won. He's the rare exception. This is the guy who actually, like, don't look at it from a fanboy perspective. Look at it from the actual, 1 in a million fighter who's actually going out on his term and getting paid. Like, you're not Ben Askren. And what I mean by that is Ben Askren in his prime went to one and we couldn't really find out how good he was. You've won every belt in every organization. Go out and win another one and get paid in the process. Have you gotten that a lot as well? People be like, oh, I want to see you in the UFC. I wanted to see you stick around. I'm disappointed in you. Things like that.
So tiny bit.
Okay.
The overall reaction that I got has been super positive by fans, which I didn't expect.
What did you expect?
I expected some
of that?
I expected big fish, small pond,
right,
blah blah
right,
blah, all this. But I think if anybody followed my career, I never re-signed with a promotion ever during my whole career did I say, okay, let's re-up. Wow. Never. I honestly think it's a little bit. You're doing yourself an injustice. You're lowering your own value. So I think it's always important to test free agency, to keep for the very reason to keep a business honest. It's test free agency, just to keep everyone honest. So to know for your own good what your value is overall with every promotion, not just one single one.
What's also huge about this is, and I say it as well, we call it free agency, but there's not real free agency in MMA in the sense that, like, if you play for the Phillies and your contract is up, now you have 30 other teams that are available to you. In our sport, free agency in the last couple of years has been UFC, Bellator, UFC. Oh, maybe the one guy who goes here. If one is now actually a player, right? And they're actually, and from what I hear, big things are coming one's way. You're the beginning of it all. This changes a lot. Now there's a third major player, and who knows what happens with PFL and what they're doing. Now we're talking real options, real free agency. Now we're getting into the boxing model, which I think is healthy for the sport, that there's more options. I know the fans are a little bit selfish. They want everyone under the same umbrella. But if you are a true fan of fighting and fighters, you want more options because that means you guys get paid. So I feel like this is a major development in terms of the evolution of the sport as well.
I think my deal single-handedly should change the pay structure of almost every fighter. It should. And it should bring awareness to free agency. Period. That don't re-sign a deal. I mean, what especially it's not worth not risking. The money that you're given, the raise that you're given at the end of your contract is not worth not being a free agent. The value of a free agent, it's super undervalued by fighters. I don't think they understand what's out there. They just see what the guy who's doesn't have a great contract on the right or left of them, they're comparing it to an already not that good of a contract. And they're saying, all right, well, I'm getting a little more than him, so I'm just going to re-sign. Or I'm getting a little more than him. The truth is, it's everyone's severely underpaid, and until you get to a free agency, just like you do in a cage, put your cup in, put in your mouthpiece, grab your balls, and test free agency. I don't know, you'll be shocked and surprised how many people need you.
Do you think that it would help if these terms were public? Like in every other sport, the athletes know what their competitors are making, what their colleagues are making, if you will, what their peers are making. In our sport, everything's so secret. And so if I'm about to be a free agent, if I'm, say, Nate Diaz or Dustin Poirier, a lightweight who's at the top of his game, top 5 in the UFC, and I know that Eddie Alvarez just signed X amount for X years, blah, 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 doesn't that help everyone? Like, would you prefer if it was all public? Or is it one of those things where you don't want the world knowing your business?
No, I would prefer it's all public.
So 100%. Here we go. Let's start it. Let's start the trend.
It was all public. I kind of would. I would. And if you are coming to free agency or close to it or having second thoughts or not sure what to do, Twitter me, Instagram me.
Okay.
I have the best agents in the whole game, by far. There's no one even close. Long-term thinkers, not trying to get a money grab, not trying to make a couple $1,000 off a fighter. Long-term thinkers with long money and are able to have the resources to be able to do things the right way. And we did take some risk, but I do have an awesome team of agents, attorneys, and people at Ballinger Group who are incredible.
It sounds like the deal is incredible. Do you think you could have gotten even more had you beaten Dustin Poirier, or do you get the sense that they were paying you top dollar regardless of what happened in that fight? Like, in the end, did your value not decrease at all?
No.
Wow.
No.
That's incredible.
It increased, if anything.
Really? How so?
Because of how long I've been in the game. If a promotion comes to me and tries to value me off of what I did in one fight,
yeah,
from my whole career, I won't even sit down and talk to. They're short-term thinkers. I would never sit down and talk to that promotion.
Okay.
I would say, you're kidding me. We're dealing with one fight here, which is like a speck of what I was able to do in the last 15 years. I could have been sick. So many things could have been happening. You can't judge a fighter off one fight. It needs to be, his last. It needs to be his last contract, to be honest with you, to see how he did over the last contract, to see how a fighter is going to perform in the future. So I would never sit down with someone who thought that short term anyway.
Okay.
And discuss a contract.
When's
situation.
your first trip out there?
I'm gonna head to Singapore November. I think I leave November 5th. Me, my wife Jamie, and Lloyd are gonna head out and go visit the fans.
Okay. And when's your first fight?
We didn't make a date yet, but I think we're gonna go like probably February, March of 19.
Okay.
So
why such a break?
Well, I have to get out there.
Okay.
So we're gonna do our first trip out there. I never took the trip out there, so it's all unfamiliar territory. I want to take a trip, get comfortable, meet the fans, come back home, and I'm already training with Ricardo and Mark and everybody, doing once, twice a day, depending on what day it is, and so probably 19.
Okay.
I like my holidays anyway. I have 4 kids at home, so.
Yeah. And any opponents being discussed so far?
No opponents. Some polls came up, and I'm gonna assume everyone's good. There's a lot of fans out there. The misconception that since the American fan doesn't know the guy who's fighting, that they're no good. They're no name. They're junk, and I'm the testament to that. That's false.
Right.
I'm the guy who I fought in Japan, came here to America. Won a title, won another title. I was virtually unknown before I was able to win titles. So I know there's good fighters everywhere, excellent fighters everywhere. There's a 17-year-old kid in our gym right now who probably wipe out half the 145-pound division in UFC.
Is that Sabit's brother?
Yeah, incredible.
That kid, I saw his in the amateur fight, his finish with the 2 spinning back kicks, insane.
So the best fighters in the world they're not even known yet.
Right.
There's a big world out there outside of America, outside of Asia, there's a big world out there. So fans should open up their eyes, and I'm looking forward to going to Japan and putting on some crazy, ridiculous, really fun fights. So.
I was actually going to ask you about Japan because I know they're going there. They haven't been there before.
I'm sorry, I said Japan. I meant Asia in
But
general.
They are going to Japan at some point.
They're going to Japan in March.
Is that important for you to maybe come back full circle a bit?
I 100% would love to fight in the Tokyo Dome. And fight back in Japan. It was a really fun, exciting time in my life that I would love to repeat.
Is this your last contract, do you think?
I don't know. I don't think so.
Okay.
It's not
it's not that long term.
It's long enough, but I don't know.
Okay.
I would like to. People ask me that a lot, but I didn't make a plan to get into the sport. I didn't say, I'm going to fight. When I turn 19 years old, I'm going to do my first pro fight, and then at 20, I'm going to be a world champion. And I never made plans. This sport is the first time I found myself in a fight. I was in a ring at the Rexplex. We were fighting on a basketball court in front of 100 people. I couldn't have thought in my head more, this is a dead end. This is an absolute dead end. That this is not a career. This is not even good what's going on here. So
now look at you.
To see where it's come, I'm gonna keep doing what I love to do, and I'm not gonna make plans. I'm not a big planner.
I'll never forget when we were in Kensington. You told me that your family had that board of things that you guys put up, the things that you wanted. I think you said your wife wanted a new kitchen. She put it up there on the board, and all you wanted was to make $1 million, right?
So, no, that was
a different board.
No, I moved out of Kensington by then. My wife never lived in Kensington.
No, I'm saying when we were in Kensington walking together, you told me the story.
Yes, the story.
That's all you wanted.
Yes, I wanted to make $1 million a fight. I wanted to. I think at that time I wanted to be like top 5 in the world. I wanted a certain kind of kitchen, certain kind of bathroom. I just put everything on this one board.
Yeah.
And it was like a vision board of mine. And then, it happened.
You got them all.
It all manifested. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. You got the $1 million, right? You got the world titles. I'm assuming you got the kitchen because you have a newish house now, right?
I don't even care about half the other stuff now. I'm older now. I don't even care about
right?
the cars and half the other stuff that's on there. I could care less about. But yeah, I have a beautiful family. My wife, my 4 children. That's all we need.
Yeah. Amen. By the way, I have to ask. You watched, I'm assuming, Khabib McGregor?
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Excellent fight. Excellent.
Surprised?
Not totally. I think if whoever was able to implement their game and put the fight in their location, that's who was going to win dominantly. Like I felt like if it stayed on the feet, that McGregor would win dominantly, and I think if it went to the ground, Khabib would win dominantly. I think it went a little further than what I thought it would. I thought it'd be a faster fight.
And what do you make of the antics afterwards? Boys will be boys, fighters will be fighters, or black eye on the sport?
No. This is, it's funny because like when you go to the circus and then the lion tamer gets his hand bit off, everybody says, "Oh, the lion went crazy."
Yeah.
And the lion went lion.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So so when a fighter jumps over the cage and then fights break out, this is what probably would happen without a commission or without without some sort of control. These are fighters. Fights happen inside the cage, outside the cage. I'm not sure. It's not how I would conduct myself, but it's a fight.
You watched that McGregor? Is he the same guy that you fought?
During the fight?
Yeah. There's a theory 2 years off, way richer now, not the same drive, not the same pep in his step, doesn't take it as seriously.
No. Look, we're horses, man. Like you bet horses. The horse could eat something bad that day.
Yeah.
The horse could be arguing with his wife that day. Not the horse. The person can be arguing with their wife.
Sure.
There's so many variables. There are humans out there fighting. So like, people win, people lose, and then we try to make a science or make a math problem out of it all the time. Right. And there's no math problem to be had. One guy wins, one guy loses, and sometimes it's for variable reasons. To me, it looked like if I could say anything, Conor had a little bounce when he fought like Aldo and fought myself. There was a little bit of a bounce, like a little bit on his toes, a little bit of a bounce, and it looked like when he came at Khabib, I felt like maybe he didn't want to bounce so much to conserve energy, but I felt like the movement that he has and is capable of would have been the biggest threat to Khabib because it wouldn't allow Khabib to shoot. He would have to reset every time Conor made an angle. Every time Conor went lateral, he'd have to reset and shoot again. But Conor didn't have a pop. He kind of was right in front of him.
Your run in the UFC is unbelievable. Like the guys that you fought, they gave you no cupcake fights. But is there a part of you that wishes you fought Khabib just to see how you would, Still, I think even... Is
that
the one guy?
I think the timing is better now than ever. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like if I was there to fight him, I'd want to fight him now. I never really had a want or a need to fight Khabib. He was always kind of hurt.
Yeah.
And I always looked at Khabib like a guy like if you sign this contract, you're probably more than likely going to end up fighting a different guy.
Yeah.
So I never was gung-ho to sign a contract with his name on it.
Okay.
He always was injured
Yeah.
when I first entered the UFC. It wasn't until recently that Khabib is able to put together back-to-back fights. And he's fighting beautifully. He's fighting like, you know, like a killer right now. So now is the time when a guy like me would want to fight a guy like that, you know, but, you know, that ain't happening anytime soon.
Do you leave with any regrets from your run in the UFC?
Zero. I only regret things that I didn't do.
Okay.
I don't regret things that I did. I regret what I didn't do. And
anything that you didn't do that you regret?
No, I don't think so. I took on the best competition that I had available in front of me every single fight out. Whether I won or lost, I put my friggin' heart into my training sessions. I don't feel like like I said, I regret things that I said no to, and then I sit back and I go, oh man, I should have did that. But
sure.
I'm more of a ready, shoot, aim type person. I'm probably going to end up doing it and then figuring out how it's done during the process of doing it versus thinking about it too much and saying no.
Do you look back on your time with UFC with fondness? Are you?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good run.
Great, like not only just the fights, but good business. I made great money with the UFC. Got to fight some of the best guys in the world, and I get to do it all over again with a new promotion. I get to go fight for arguably one of the top promotions in the world, and fight the best guys in that promotion.
And it's funny because I feel like you're. I just feel like something's about to happen with this promotion, and
Big time.
Yeah,
big time.
Anything you can tell us?
I can say that. I mean, it's rumors, but I'm not the last large signing in the next month or so.
Okay.
I think there's going to be a shift, a massive shift.
Wow.
Not just there's going to be a massive shift in power toward one championship.
That's a tricky one, right? One FC, one championship.
One championship,
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
So a massive shift in power, and people are going to see that I made a great decision.
Yes.
Absolutely great decision.
That's what you were talking about, long-term thinking.
Long-term thinking, yeah.
You had the vision. But you're the first domino to fall, is what you're saying.
And I'm willing to be that. I'm willing to be part of something great. And we're on the cusp of something absolutely great.
And just to tie this whole thing back to the beginning, it kind of feels like in a way you were the winner that night in Calgary. You know, like I'm not trying to put someone else down, but like Dustin was supposed to have a fight, didn't materialize, and now he's just kind of, who knows, you know, Ferguson's trying to get a title shot. Who knows when he's ever going to fight for the belt. And now here you are, right?
Yeah.
In a weird way.
One thing that happens in this sport is guys do well. Guys, this guy makes $2 million. This guy makes $2 million. And one thing that's important is for you to just stay in your lane and know that your time's coming. You're going to make your amount of money. You're going to win your world title, and pay no attention to what happened with this guy and how fast it happened. And you deserve this because he got it. That is that's not the rabbit hole you want to go down in this sport. So stay in your lane. If you put the time in, the work in, you'll get your turn to be world champion. You get your turn to make millions of dollars, and the sport gives back to the people that give to it.
And be honest, how much did I annoy you since July every week asking you to come on the show? There was a point where you called, I would text you, but there was a point where you just called me up and you're like, Ariel, I swear to God, if you text me one more time, I'm renewing my vows. I'm in Disney World. Please, for the love of God, leave me the F alone. Admit it. You could admit it. I was annoying, right?
I did.
You called me up one time. You had to lay the smack down.
Look, I'm gonna call you, all right? You don't call me. I'm gonna call you. But no, we got it done. And this will be the first of many. I'm excited to be here. I'm actually not too fond of coming to New York.
Why?
It's just too many people. There's way too much going on.
It's just like an hour train ride, right? It's nothing.
Yeah, I moved out of Philadelphia for this reason.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
right outside of Philadelphia. I'm in like a farmland.
Gotcha.
And
Okay.
when I go to Philadelphia, it's becoming like New York, traffic, like this now.
Who
So,
needs it?
oh man, it bugs me out. So
But you did get annoyed.
I do.
Yeah.
But when I
No,
get to
me.
with you, New York, a number of things, but but I'm happy now.
And you renewed your vows.
We renewed our vows in
Disney?
Disney.
Wow.
Yep.
We're owned by Disney, so we
Yep.
can give a shout out. So what'd you do? You and your wife and your kids went out there and you did the whole thing all over again?
Super cool. Yeah, me and my wife's favorite place is the Polynesian there.
Okay.
So we went to the Polynesian. We got a photographer. Disney only allows you to have a photographer from them.
Okay.
But we got a photographer to come take pictures of us.
Wow.
And we were the only people in the whole park. So that was
How'd
an
you do that?
experience in itself.
How'd you pull that off?
Well, only 3 people get to take pictures usually at Disney in a morning, but no other people book. So it was me and my wife in Disney by ourselves.
Wow.
So I bought the park out.
Wow. Well, now you're a high roller.
No, but we did that, and then I had a really good friend. I'm sure he was the Bellator photographer, Eric Coleman.
Okay.
Eric, awesome dude, came down, flew down, got a hotel, and followed us around the Polynesian and took pictures of me, Jamie, and my family and stuff like that. It was a super cool experience.
How many years have you been married?
This will be our 10th year married, but I've been with Jamie since I was 15, so we've been together 19 years.
So is that why you renewed? Because it was 10-year anniversary?
10-year anniversary.
I just celebrated my 10 year as well. When
Yep.
did you get married? 2008?
Yep.
What month?
September.
October.
Yep.
See, we're like kindred spirits, you
Look
and
at
I.
that. Yeah, you got to
And
catch up with the kids, though.
Yeah, I got 3.
You got some catching up to do.
Yeah. And I've known my wife since I was 12.
Oh, okay. You got
So
me there.
I got you there. Not bad. See, we've got a lot. There was a time where I feel like you didn't really trust me, and you were like, "All right, if you come to Kensington, then we're boys." Now I feel like we're boys for life because I made the trek, right?
I agree.
But there was a moment where you were like, "I don't know about this guy."
I didn't think you'd do it. I didn't think you'd do it.
think.
I think you had it in you. You made the walk, though.
I made the walk.
I respect everyone who makes the walk.
As do I. And let me tell you something. I'm so happy for you because you've been a pioneer of this game. You did it your own way. You did it the hard way. You didn't do it the UFC way, so to speak. Like, you had to fight for everything. Underground King is not just a slogan. Like, that is you. You did it. And then you made it to the top of the UFC, which is not usually how it works. And now you're out almost pioneering this new era for one and getting big contracts and whatnot. Well done, man. I was really happy for you. I don't necessarily root for things to happen in this sport, but the fact that you did it and you're doing it your way is really impressive. So congratulations.
It's super cool. Thank you, man. It means a lot coming from you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Eddie Alvarez,
awesome.
I appreciate it, my man. Thank you for making the trek.
Yep.
It means a lot. And we have this little banner over here that we're having our in-studio guest sign, and we're going to give it away to charity one day. So if you don't mind,
Sweet.
on the way out, we have a marker or 2 over there if you don't mind signing it.
Yeah, I want to sign it. Just thank you.
Yeah.
To everybody listening and all the fans out there, overall it's been super positive, and we disregard any negative stuff anyways.
Yes.
But for the most part, everybody's been positive and sort of supports me along doing this. And trust me, man, this is one's going to be huge, and I'm excited to be a part of it.
Can't wait. The new face of One Championship, Eddie Alvarez. Well done, my man.
Thank you.
If you don't mind signing that,
Yep.
and thank you so much for coming in. I know it's a bit of a trek, and there you go, right over there, Eddie Alvarez. Here we go. Let's see where he decides to sign. It's always very interesting. He's gonna go right at the top, on top of everyone. My man, Eddie A. Look at that, Kensington's own, future champion for One Championship, not One FC, One Championship. Get it right, Eddie. You're the man. All the best, my man. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon. Appreciate you doing this. What a guy. What a mensch, that Eddie Alvarez, stopping by here in studio. Congratulations to him. And as he said, and as I have heard, big things to come for that organization. I feel like one of the big stories of 2019 shall be the rise of One Championship, and not just overseas, not just in Asia, but also here in North America.